Today, I'll be sharing with you some of my raw thoughts, and in advance, if you disagree, I apologize first. On the other hand, maybe there'll be some useful pointers for you and you might agree also. And it's this: I hate fixed deposits. This article came out, people are queuing up 4 hours for fixed deposits. I hate that idea because fixed deposits is not the way to build your wealth. Nothing against banks, nothing against the product itself. It has its value proposition. But in terms of building wealth, I hate it. This also extends to treasury bills. You know, right now I see on forums and Seedly groups, there's so much enthusiasm about treasury bills. Just in case you don't know what is treasury bills, short form is T-bills. They are just a 6-month product whereby you get fixed interest. Right now, it's 3.32% interest per annum basis. It is issued at a discount, which means you buy 90 plus cents, then you get to $1. And while it's also true that you can sell on the open market if you need to, for example, cash it out, there is also a spread as well as a brokerage charge. So more often than not, people hold it to maturity. In any case, you can hear, I don't really know it too well. Simply because if this product can only satisfy a solution for 6 months, you take up my energy to revise that there is reinvestment risk also. I much rather Singapore savings bonds, and I've always advocated use it only for emergency cash, not to build up substantial amounts. It doesn't deliver you wealth. In any case, if you think back 12 months ago, who in the world cared about treasury bills and fixed deposits? But both of them are not even as good as Treasury inflation protection securities, TIPS in US, or inflation bonds. Both of these in US are paying 9% because inflation is just so high over there now. Susie Osman has also mentioned that there is a case to buy inflation bonds. There are articles many months before this. Savers are rushing to buy inflation bonds because right now they are getting like 8-9% and it might even climb higher. My belief is that it is very likely that government or MAS might create such a product that links it to inflation because that is a current problem, that is a current need, correct? There's market demand for it. It's good if you are a retiree, you are not looking to build wealth. The biggest risk you're facing is inflation, then maybe it's good. It has its purpose, I get it. But if you're like me, building up wealth, don't waste time on it. Okay, I just can't stress too much on it. The key question that I'd like to ask you is, do you want to win in your finances? If the answer is yes, you need to understand this. You cannot follow the crowd in what they're doing. 12 months ago, the crowd was laughing at fixed deposits, laughing at low interest rates, and going all in towards stocks. Look what's happened. Things have crashed. Right now, the crowd is eager to sell stocks, eager to move whatever they can cash out and move it to something fixed. Get 3% is better than losing 20%. Or the crowd is looking to lock up their monies for 6 months in T-bills or 12 months, 18 months in the fixed deposits, simply because the market sucks now. Now let's address the first part. Do not sell your stocks now to buy treasury bills even. I get it. The lure is that you can prevent losses. Move your monies there, 3% is better than losing 20%, correct? It's so painful and tiring. And if you check around, everybody seems to be doing it, getting interested into it, so maybe it's good. But think back again. The first is, weren't they the same crowd that was also very enthusiastic about stock market highs 1 year ago? Second part is, if you ask anyone 20 years later, total returns, even if stock markets are not at the bottom yet, 20 years later, if someone is invested in stocks all the way versus someone is invested into treasury bills and fixed deposits all the way 20 years time, who will be better off? I think everybody will unanimously agree that someone who's invested in stocks and equities, correct? The problem is this lure. Now the market sucks. Might as well I just take 3%. Maybe the market is better, I come back in. This is market timing 101 because when you do such a decision, you can be 70% right that now is not market bottom, you sell out. That is one leg. But what is the buying leg? If you're only 70% correct, that's still a very optimistic view already. That means 70% times 70%, you're only 49% likelihood going to be better off, which means in the long term, you will lose. Let's pull up an example to illustrate things. This is what has happened as recently as 2020, the COVID crash. This situation right now we're facing, this bear market is different, I get it. But what I'm trying to illustrate to you is you don't need to be at the market bottom. You would have missed out on possible opportunities in a 6 months time frame. It is possible, and if you look, this difference is 23%. Suddenly, 3.32% seems peanuts. Again, it's from a short-term perspective, but if you are looking 20 years, I think it's a no-brainer which vehicle you should go towards. Point number 2, do not lock up your cash. Whether it's 6 months in treasury bills, 12 months, 18 months in fixed deposits, do not lock up your cash. And before I explain that, if you agree already, help me smash on like button so that we can reach a bigger audience that really advocate how to build wealth properly. I'm okay actually with Singapore savings bonds. Why? Because that is a 10-year solution. You get it? Not too much effort ongoingly. 10-year solution, no reinvestment risk because you are promised a rate in future just in case interest rates go down again. We never know. And the best part is you have the option to cash out early. Every other solution we're talking about now has you locked in. Opportunities in the markets come and go. Right now, I may be too early with this video to say that market opportunity is coming. I don't know. But what I'm pretty sure is that when markets start rallying, you thank me for this video to share with you and remind you that you need to be in the markets, you need to look to deploy in the markets instead of flirting with ideas that gives you a fixed interest. Remember again, bull markets is when you make money, but bear markets is when you get rich. Let me illustrate again. This is the much maligned STI. Assuming we get to such a point somewhere in the next 6 to 12 months, whichever case is, what I'm trying to illustrate to you is that there are big opportunity costs. Market comes down, you don't have that cash to deploy, you could be missing out on a 12% gain using a simple 6 months time frame. Or even worse, you could be missing out on a 48% gain on a 12-month basis. Take note again, this is not even the actual bottom of that bear market in 2008. That bear market's bottom was actually in March 2009. This illustration is if you had bought in 30th October 2008 and you still had to tolerate some pains in the months ahead, which could have seen your portfolio decline by 20% or so. Be ready for it, but this is your potential fruit. When markets are depressed, it's very easy to make double-digit returns. Speaking to here, I'll quote something from Gary Vaynerchuk. Don't just hear what I say, watch what I do. Am I deploying my money towards treasury bills? Have I created even a content on treasury bills? My mindset is to keep the monies liquid now. I don't know what Mr. Market will present itself in the next 3 to 6 months. I've had expectation, but I'm also preparing, waiting patiently and taking the right actions. I'm not firing off simply because imagine a sniper. You cannot be firing out all your bullets unnecessarily. You need to take the right shot. You need to trust your experience. That's what I'm doing. I'm trusting my experience and looking for the right shot. It's also the same for a fisherman. You cannot keep pulling up your hook. You need to wait until the fish comes sufficiently in or is sufficiently deep. Then that's where you pull. You need experience or you need to lean on people who have experience. The key is you need to be brave but also patient. This is something that I'll echo moving forward in the members channel, and if you're keen, there's some new content there that could help you in your thinking process, so do check the links below. But today's topic is about fixed deposits and treasury bills. Right now, if you're the sniper, you're going for such a solution, you're effectively taking your bullet out and placing it into a different gun. That is foolish. That's even worse than shooting with the rifle that you have. Hopefully what I've mentioned is food for thought. And as always, check out some of my previous tutorials on market psychology as to why so many people do not succeed on financial markets. And remember this saying that I have for you today. Bear markets will fool you to look for safety. Resist that.